Have you ever promised yourself something like, I'll start going to the gym next month. Future me will save more money. I'll definitely finish that project this weekend. And somehow, that future version of you never shows up. Instead, 1 month later, you're standing in exactly the same place, making the exact same promise to another future version of yourself. It's strange. You'd never ask your best friend to deal with a problem you created today, but somehow, you have no problem leaving it for tomorrow's you. We even talk about ourselves like there's someone else. Future me will handle it. That's tomorrow's problem. I'll worry about it later. Almost like there are two different people sharing the same body. So why does your brain treat your future self like a complete stranger? And what happens inside your mind when later arrives and suddenly becomes now? Imagine someone walks up to you and offers two choices. You can have $100 today, or $120 1 month from now. Most people already know what the smarter financial decision is. Wait 1 month. Get $20 extra. Simple. But now, change the offer. You can have $100 right now, or $120 tomorrow. Suddenly the choice feels much harder. Nothing changed except the timing. 1 extra day shouldn't matter that much, yet our brains react completely differently. Psychologists call this temporal discounting, a complicated name for a very simple habit. The farther away something is, the less real it feels. Your brain literally discounts the value of future rewards. It's almost like holding two objects. One is right in front of your face. The other is across a football field. Even if the distant object is bigger, the closer one feels easier to grab. Time works surprisingly similarly. The future isn't just later, it actually feels farther away. But here's the strange part. This doesn't only happen with rewards. It happens with responsibility. Think about laundry. Dirty clothes pile up. You look at them. You know they won't magically disappear. Yet it's surprisingly easy to think, I'll do them tomorrow. Tomorrow feels like a magical place where energy somehow appears, where motivation is unlimited, where chores take 5 minutes. Future. You seems incredibly productive. Present you? Not so much. Why? Because your brain isn't imagining reality. It's imagining possibility. When we picture tomorrow, we don't feel today's tiredness, today's distractions, today's stress. We imagine an ideal version of ourselves, one with more time, more patience, more discipline. Basically, a superhero wearing our face. Then tomorrow arrives, and somehow, that superhero forgot to show up. At first, scientists thought this was simply about self-control. Maybe humans just aren't very good at delaying gratification. But brain scans revealed something much stranger. When researchers asked people to think about themselves today, certain brain regions became active that are strongly connected with self-processing. No surprise there. But then participants imagined themselves many years into the future. Something unexpected happened. Activity in those self-related areas became much weaker. Instead, their brains started responding in ways that looked surprisingly similar to when they imagined another person. Not identical, but noticeably less self. In other words, your brain doesn't always treat future you as you. The farther into the future you imagine yourself, the fuzzier that connection becomes. It's like looking at an old family photo. You know, that's technically you, but it also feels like someone else. And that creates a very strange problem. Imagine your neighbor asks, "Can you mow my lawn this weekend?" You might hesitate. But if someone asked, "Can you mow your own lawn?" The answer feels completely different. Same lawn, different owner. Your brain naturally works harder for people it feels connected to. If future you doesn't feel closely connected, then helping them doesn't feel urgent. Saving money? That's helping somebody else. Studying tonight? That's helping somebody else. Going to bed earlier? Again, helping somebody else. No wonder procrastination feels so natural. From your brain's perspective, you're asking present you to sacrifice comfort for someone you barely know. But here's where the mystery gets even deeper. If future you feels like another person, why do we also blame them? Think about it. You spill coffee on your shirt. You forget to charge your phone. You stay up until 3 a.m. Then you laugh and say, "Tomorrow me is going to hate me." Notice the wording. Not, "I will regret this." Instead, "Tomorrow me." Almost like you're talking about a roommate. We divide ourselves into different characters. Past me, present me, future me, and they don't always get along. Past me leaves a mess. Present me ignores it. Future me has to clean everything up. It's basically a dysfunctional family living inside one brain. Evolution may explain why this happens. For almost all of human history, survival happened today. If there was food nearby, eat it. If shelter was available, take it. If danger appeared, react immediately. Our ancestors rarely planned 30 years ahead. Many didn't have that luxury. The future was uncertain. The present determined survival. So our brains became incredibly good at responding to immediate problems. The rustling bush, the approaching storm, the ripe fruit, those mattered now. A retirement account? Not exactly useful on the savannah. Modern life asks our ancient brains to care deeply about things that won't matter for years. College savings, insurance, exercise for future health, climate change. These are all incredibly important, but they don't trigger the same urgency as something happening right in front of us. Our hardware evolved for immediate survival. The software of modern society keeps asking it to think decades ahead. Sometimes those two systems simply disagree, but there's another twist. Your future self isn't actually fixed. You probably imagine them as basically today's version of you, just older. Researchers have found something fascinating. People consistently underestimate how much they'll change in the future. Your favorite music, your hobbies, your opinions, your personality, even the kind of people you enjoy spending time with. We assume we've mostly finished changing. But years later, we often realize we've become someone we never predicted. Psychologists sometimes call this the end of history illusion. Not because history ends, but because we mistakenly believe our personal growth has mostly ended. Ironically, your future self really is a stranger. Not because your brain is broken, because that person genuinely hasn't existed yet. They're still being built. Now think about looking through old photos. You find one from 10 years ago. Your haircut looks ridiculous. Your clothes seem embarrassing. You laugh and wonder, what was I thinking? That person feels distant, almost separate. Yet without them, you wouldn't exist today. One day, someone will look back at today's version of you exactly the same way. Future, you will probably laugh at your current hairstyle, your current worries, maybe even the things you're obsessing over this week. To them, you're the strange old version. The roles eventually reverse. So, can we ever stop treating future you like a stranger? Interestingly, small changes seem to help. Researchers have found that when people see aged versions of their own faces, they often become more willing to save money for retirement. Simply making future. You feel more vivid changes, decisions today. The same happens when people write letters to their future selves. Or imagine a detailed day in their future life, instead of a blurry idea. The more real that future person becomes, the the more your brain starts treating them like someone worth helping. Not because logic changed, because familiarity did. We naturally care more about people we can clearly picture. Apparently, that includes ourselves. So maybe the biggest mystery was never procrastination, or saving money, or putting things off. Maybe the mystery is identity. We like to imagine we're one continuous person moving smoothly through time. But your brain doesn't always experience life that way. Instead, it's constantly negotiating between different versions of you. Yesterday's you, today's you, tomorrow's you. Each one has different priorities, different information, different emotions, and somehow, they all have to share the same life. The next time you hear yourself say, "Future me will deal with it," pause for just a second. Because from your brain's perspective, you've just handed your problems to a complete stranger. And maybe the strangest part is this. One day, you'll wake up and realize you became them. If this video made you question something you've been doing your entire life without noticing, that's exactly what this channel is all about. There are hundreds of everyday mysteries hiding in plain sight, and we're uncovering them one by one. So subscribe to Science Behind You, and I'll see you in the next mystery.